There are moments in life when something begins to shift, quietly. So quietly, in fact, that nothing on the outside seems different at all. No sudden breakthroughs, no dramatic announcements, just a subtle internal movement. You feel it before you understand it. A strange stillness beneath all the noise. A calm that doesn't make logical sense. An awareness, soft but undeniable, that something in your life is rearranging itself, even if you can't yet see what. And here's what makes this moment different from all the others you've lived through. A part of you already knows it's happening. That's why this message found you. Not randomly, not by accident, but because you've arrived at a very specific point in your journey. A threshold, a moment where what you've been quietly becoming is about to become undeniable. And if you're still here reading this, you feel that too, don't you? Lately, you've been noticing things you can't unsee anymore. The way conversations that once energized you now feel draining before they even begin. The way plans that used to excite you now feel like performances, like you're playing a role you've outgrown. The way you look at your own life, your job, your environment, your routines, even certain people, and feel like you're watching a movie about someone you used to be. Pause for a second. Let that sink in, because what you're feeling isn't depression. It isn't burnout, and it's definitely not you losing yourself. It's the opposite. It's you finding yourself for the first time. That disorientation, that feeling of not quite fitting anywhere anymore, that's what happens when the identity you've worn for years starts to loosen its grip. When the version of you that was built out of expectations, survival, and conditioning begins to dissolve. And underneath it, the real you starts to emerge. Raw, unfiltered, unfamiliar. And yes, it's terrifying, because you've spent so long building a life around who you thought you had to be. And now, that version is quietly, irreversibly fading. And here's the hardest part. You don't fully know yet who's taking its place. Notice this. You've been making choices lately that don't make sense to anyone else. Saying no to things you would have said yes to without hesitation a year ago. Walking away from situations people think you're crazy to leave. Choosing silence instead of explaining yourself to people who wouldn't understand anyway. And the strangest part? You're not second-guessing yourself like you used to. There's no endless overthinking, no exhausting pros and cons lists, no desperate need for validation. There's just knowing, quiet, clear, unshakable knowing. And that knowing is guiding you somewhere your logic can't map yet, somewhere your old self would have been too afraid to go, somewhere that requires trust more than proof. Let me say that again, because this is important. That's not recklessness, that's alignment. And alignment will always look like madness to people who are still living out of alignment. Have you noticed how time feels different lately? Not just fast or slow, but almost fluid. Like you're existing in two realities at once. One foot still planted in the world everyone else sees, and one foot already stepping into something new, something forming, something you can feel, but not fully touch yet. And the space between those two worlds, it's getting wider, harder to ignore, harder to pretend everything is the same. You catch yourself zoning out more, losing track of conversations, staring into space like you're listening to something no one else can hear. And sometimes you feel homesick for a place you've never been, like your soul is already living somewhere your body hasn't caught up to yet. Listen carefully. That's not you disconnecting from reality. That's you transitioning into a new one. You're not lost. You're becoming. And becoming doesn't come with a map. It comes with trust. And being ready doesn't mean having all the answers. It means you've reached a point where you no longer need them. Read that again, because that's where you are now. And yes, people have been falling away, not always through dramatic endings or painful confrontations. Sometimes they just fade. Conversations that once flowed now feel forced. Connections that once grounded you now feel heavy. And for the first time, you're not chasing them, not because you don't care, but because you finally understand something deeper. Some people were only meant to walk with the version of you that no longer exists, and holding on to them means holding yourself back. That's not cruelty. That's truth. That's growth. That's space being created. For the people who will recognize you, not for who you were, but for who you're becoming. And trust this, they're already on their way, but you can't meet them if you're still clinging to what's already trying to leave. Now here's the part most people never talk about, the quiet shift that doesn't look dramatic from the outside, but changes everything on the inside. You've started to feel something unfamiliar, haven't you? Peace. Not the kind you force, not the kind you pretend to feel so you can get through the day, not the kind that comes from convincing yourself that everything is okay. No, this is different. This is real peace. The kind that exists even when things don't make sense. The kind that doesn't panic in uncertainty. The kind that doesn't need constant reassurance or answers to feel stable. It's subtle, but powerful. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It just sits there, quietly, steadily, beneath everything. And that peace, that's your sign. That's how you know, without needing proof, that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Not because your life suddenly looks perfect, not because everything around you has magically fallen into place, but because something within you has. Because internally, something has settled. You've stopped needing the outside world to validate your direction. Stopped waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect clarity, the perfect confirmation. You've stopped needing control. Think about it. You're not trying to micromanage every outcome anymore. You're not obsessing over timelines, over when will this happen or how will this work out. You've released that tight grip. And for the first time, you're allowing things to unfold. You're no longer performing certainty just to make other people comfortable. No longer pretending you have it all figured out just because that's what's expected of you. Instead, you've chosen something deeper. You've chosen surrender, but not the kind that comes from giving up. The kind that comes from trust, from knowing, on a level you can't fully explain, that you don't need to control everything to be okay. And the moment you stepped into that energy, something shifted. Things started moving. Maybe not loudly, maybe not in ways others can see yet, but you feel it. Doors opening internally, weights lifting, resistance softening, life responding to your release. So if this message is landing deeply for you right now, if it feels like it's speaking directly to something inside you, it's not a coincidence. It's because this is that moment, the in-between, the space most people try to avoid, where the old version of your life is quietly falling apart and the new version hasn't fully taken shape yet. It's uncertain, it's uncomfortable, it can even feel disorienting at times, because nothing feels solid, nothing feels guaranteed, except that quiet voice inside you, the one that doesn't panic, the one that doesn't argue, the one that simply says, keep going. And somehow, you trust it. This space you're in right now, this is where transformation happens. Not when everything is clear, not when everything is easy, but right here, in the unknown, in the pause between endings and beginnings. And yes, it stretches you. Yes, it challenges you. Yes, it asks more from you than comfort ever could. But it's also sacred, because this is where you meet yourself, without distractions. This is where you stop running. This is where you become. So here's what I want you to do. Not for me, not for anyone else. For you. For the version of you that is rising, quietly, powerfully, beneath all this uncertainty. I want you to pause, take a breath, and write this, somewhere you can see it. I trust that everything is unfolding for me perfectly, not just as words, but as a decision, as a declaration, as a moment where you choose trust over fear. Read it slowly, feel it, let it sink into the parts of you that still feel unsure. Let it anchor you when your mind starts to wander back into doubt. Let it remind you that you're not falling apart, you're not losing your way, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're aligning. Piece by piece, moment by moment. This moment didn't find you by accident. You didn't just stumble into this phase of your life. You're here because something inside you is ready to let go, ready to grow, ready to step into something deeper, something more real, even if you can't fully define it yet. Because the truth is, the person you're becoming, they're not waiting for you somewhere in the future. They're not a distant version of you that you have to chase, earn, or someday arrive at. They're already here, closer than you think, quieter than you expected, but undeniably present, standing right beside you in this very moment, waiting, not impatiently, not with pressure, not demanding that you figure everything out overnight, just waiting, waiting for you to notice them, waiting for you to feel them, waiting for you to recognize that you've already begun becoming them. Because this isn't about transforming into someone completely new. It's about remembering who you've always been, beneath everything you were taught to be. And that's why this part feels so challenging. Because in order to see who you are now, you have to stop looking back at who you used to be. You have to loosen your grip on the old identity, the familiar habits, the predictable patterns, the version of you that felt safe, simply because it was known. Even if it no longer fits, even if it no longer feels true, even if deep down, you've already outgrown it. And let's be honest, that's not easy. There's comfort in familiarity. There's security in repetition. There's a strange sense of control in staying the same, even when it's no longer aligned. But growth asks something different from you. It asks you to release what's comfortable in order to step into what's real. So this is your moment, the moment where you gently turn away from the past, not with regret, not with resentment, but with understanding, with gratitude for everything it taught you, with respect for the version of you that got you here. And then you turn forward, you turn inward, and you allow yourself to truly see who you are now, not who you were told to be, not who others expect you to be, not who you think you should be, but who you are, right here, right now, unfiltered, evolving, becoming. And when you begin to see that, something shifts. You realize that everything is unfolding, not later, not when everything is perfect, not when all the answers finally arrive, but right now, in this moment, in the uncertainty you're learning to sit with, in the decisions you're making from trust instead of fear, in the quiet steps you're taking, even when you can't see the entire path ahead, especially then, because that's what real growth looks like. It doesn't come with guarantees. It doesn't come with a clear map. It comes with movement, with trust, with choosing to keep going, even when clarity hasn't caught up yet. And you've been doing that, even on the days when it feels messy, even on the days when doubt creeps back in, even on the days when nothing seems to make sense. You're still here, still moving, still evolving, still choosing, in your own quiet way, to not go back to who you were. And that matters more than you realize. So let this land fully. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Not ahead, not behind, not lost. Right here. Even if your current reality doesn't reflect the vision you carry inside yet. Even if things feel uncertain, incomplete, or unclear. That doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're in progress. And yes, there will be moments when it doesn't feel like it. Moments when you question everything. Moments when the unknown feels heavier than your trust. Moments when you're tempted to go back, simply because it's easier than moving forward without certainty. That's part of it. That doesn't mean you're failing. That means you're growing. So when those moments come, don't resist them. Lean into this moment instead. Breathe in it. Be present with it. Allow it to unfold without trying to force it into something familiar. Because this moment, it didn't find you randomly. It didn't appear in your life by accident. It found you because you're ready. Ready to see differently. Ready to choose differently. Ready to become someone who trusts the process, even without proof. And what's coming next? You don't need to have all the answers for that. You just need to keep showing up. Keep listening to that quiet inner voice. Keep choosing alignment over comfort. Keep walking forward, even when the path feels invisible. Because step by step, moment by moment, you're meeting yourself. Everything is unfolding right now. And the more you trust that, the more you'll begin to see it. Not all at once, but in glimpses, in shifts, in opportunities, in the way life starts responding to the version of you that has finally stopped resisting it. So trust this, trust yourself, trust where you are, even if it doesn't make sense yet, because one day you'll look back at this exact moment and realize this was the turning point, the moment everything quietly began to change, the moment you stopped searching and finally started becoming.